and welcome to 7554. This is a Vietnamese game from Emobi Games, and it's set in the Vietnamese War of Independence from the French, which is very different from what we're used to, where we're used to the Americans taking out the Germans, or the Americans taking out Soviet Russia, or the Americans taking out the Japanese, or occasionally some Brit with an awful accent taking out some Germans, or a Brit with a terrible accent taking out... you get the picture. So this is something slightly different. Obviously, being set in Vietnam, all your options that you start with are in Vietnamese, so I'll show you how to change that first. You start off with this here. I'm not even going to try and pronounce them because it'd be embarrassing. And this option down the bottom here, click that and there you get your English. Now it is on difficulty easy. You actually choose at the start of the campaign. It is on easy at the moment, so that I can show you the game without dying every 10 seconds, because I'm not very good. Here's your basic graphic settings and your effects, all on top at the moment. If you left click or right click, it gives you the same effect of going through one mode at a time, so if you go past it you have got to go around the whole cycle, you can't go back one. There's your sound options and your general. So first thing I'm going to do is show you the controls. There you go, you can read that for yourself. Now I did change those settings myself to better suit my setup. And let's start a new game. Like I said, I will keep on easy just to make it easy, shockingly, so I don't die every 10 seconds whilst trying to film. When possible I will skip this, and if it won't let me I shall... no, I'll skip ahead myself. Here we are in game. Graphically it's not outstanding. It's very reminiscent of almost Call of Duty, maybe Call of Duty 4, maybe a bit of Medal of Honor. It's very familiar, and this first mission has you defending the gates from the French. So I'm not awfully good, just tells you like shift to sprint and that sort of nonsense, but you get the feeling. This part's basically just to give you a bit of a feeling of how the controls handle, give you a chance to change it if you need to. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to skip ahead now and show you the cinematic sequences you get once you finish this. Okay, we've killed enough French that we can progress to the next sequence, and you've got to run to these little yellow circles. I thought I died the first time I did this, but it turns out it's just part of the sequence, just so you don't look in the wrong direction. So you got yourself an APC and a man with a stick. And who wins? Man with a stick. Now I've got to run over this side. I've switched to my pistol because I've learned from experience that running out of ammo for your rifle is not good in this game at all. There are parts where you need to use a long-range weapon and your pistol simply does not reach. So again, just hold the fort long enough that you can progress on. And I can't hit him. Let me destroy that iron pig. Here comes the iron pig. And man with stick wins every time. Is he dead? Could he be dead? I hope not, or I'm dragging a corpse. Bit of backstory. No, of course he's not dead. He's Vietnamese. He's a tough old soldier. So now I'm supposed to be heading after him. I will show you that you've got a mounted machine gun here. It's got a nice amount of oomph to it. Sounds good. Let's progress on. Let's follow him upstairs. And I'll show you the next cinematic piece you get here, which is very reminiscent of old war films. I'm sure you've seen it many a time in films like Enemy at the Gates, where you've got the snipers, and forces you forward here. I don't like that, it breaks immersion immediately. And I'm not actually controlling here, he's doing it himself. Again, it's a bit of a cinematic, in-game cinematic. That's right, where's that sniper? There he is. And there he goes. Right, now this is the part I was talking about where it's worth saving your rifle ammo for, because you've got to shoot the guys across the roof on the other side. If you run out of rifle ammo, you're knackered. You cannot progress. So that gives you a bit of a feel of what the single player is like. It's very reminiscent of all the other shooters that you're well used to by now. Because it's a small studio and not got huge amounts of money, it's not what you'd expect from a AAA release, but it does only cost £8 or $12.49. So it's not a bad price for this little game. Controls are fairly tight. There is spread on the rifles, but when you aim down the sights, it's almost hit scan. I mean, it's literally you shoot, they die. Well, it is hit scan, but there's no scatter. You know, you shoot somebody, they're gonna die. It doesn't matter if they're right next to you or if they're a mile away. They just seem to die once you aim down the sights. Now, this part here is a little bit more of defending. So basically everything I've done so far is just sitting in a spot shooting French who come at me. It's not the most interesting, to be honest with you, and I'm sure it's just to give you a feel of the game. If the whole game ended up like this, I would be extremely disappointed. I haven't actually progressed much further than this because, to be honest with you, I've played better games and it's just not very interesting to me. But if it appeals to you, pick it up. I say it's only £8. It's very, very cheap, and it has got some interesting features. The most interesting of which I'm going to show you now. So let's head back to the main menu. The survival mode. This is what you expect from a survival mode that you've seen ever since World at War, where you've got zombies coming at you. Now the only major difference being that you're not in a safe house, you're out in the open, you've got much more freedom, you don't have to barricade things up, it's basically just shoot lots of zombies. Now the first two maps don't actually have zombies, they're much more traditional survivals, but the second two modes are zombie armies. It gives you a bit of a story as to why there's zombies. I'm not sure it's really necessary. Most important thing is there are zombies. Now once it loads in, I'll show you that it's got all the things you expect from a zombie survival mode. You get your money down on the bottom right, which you'll see any second. There you go, there's your money, your ammo, what wave number you're on. And here you can see the graphics are a little bit nicer. The lighting is what makes it, in my opinion. Older games, they just didn't have the lighting effects, they didn't have the nice reflection effects, which they do have now. But the basic textures, there's nothing spectacular about it. Now we're starting to get into the storm. Once the storm starts, you'll start seeing zombies. Maybe. Here we go. Now interestingly, there's lightning. Don't hear any thunder. And there's no rain. On the other map that comes with it, with zombies in the jungle, there is a downpour. You do hear the thunder, so I wonder whether it's a graphical glitch or what. I'm not entirely sure. But if I finish this phase, I shall show you the purchasing system which it's got in there. Now these waves do seem to be timed rather than number of zombies, and the more zombies you kill, the more money you get, rather than you have to survive a wave, and so you're almost certain how much money you'll end up with. You'll see they do burst into flames, much like in Minecraft, which is an interesting decision. Now, there you go, you need 5,300 dong to unlock the machine gun in this house. There you've got your various weapons, you can buy your ammo, pistols, etc. Now you can't press escape to go back, which I don't like. It takes a little bit too long to navigate through the menus. But all in all, a very standard sort of survival map. But again, might be something you're interested in. Now, if I go back to the main menu, I haven't seen any option for multiplayer. This appears to be entirely single player, which is disappointing. Survival for me was always most fun when you've got a couple of guild mates with you, defending the town or house against a zombie invasion, calling out on your TeamSpeak. But it's there for a single player game. It's a bit strange, to be honest with you, but it gives you a nice change. Here you've got your missions menu, so you can choose missions once you've done it. As you see, I haven't actually progressed past it, but it's not really necessary for me. I think I've got a good feeling of what the game's going to be like, and it might be something I come back to in the future. It's worth having now that I've got it. If you want to check it out, the link is in the description from emobigames.vn. I'll also put in a link for the quick link to the checkout service. Because it's all in Vietnamese, you might find it a little bit confusing to find your way around. I think that's it. Thank you for watching.